or change. On the Fat Controller's railway, all engines are painted blue with red lining. Except for in special cases such as James, who was painted red as a reward. The latest engine on the line to be given a nice blue coat was Henry. After helping Edward save the Express, he'd been given a coat of paint, which had made him rather boastful despite his sickly nature. "No engine pulls the loco as well as me," he boasted one morning. "Rubbish," put in James. "You've always been late to the junction with it." Henry just scoffed. "That may be true, but at least my passengers get a smooth ride," he said as he huffed off to get his coaches. "That's debatable," James muttered. As Thomas had gone to his branch line, the bigger engines had been left to shunt their own trains, which upset them all greatly. Henry wasn't paying attention as he grumbled into the sidings. "Oh, what does James know about a smooth ride anyway? He's just a glorified goods engine. Oh, heavens!" The coaches were not badly hurt, but splintered wood had bashed Henry's funnel, and his buffers were bent. The Fat Controller came at once to see what all the noise was, and he wasn't happy. "You silly great engine," he started. "We've no spares at the works, so you'll just have to make do with what they have. Perhaps that will teach you to behave." "Oh look, the Fat Controller's bought another engine like me." I'm sorry to say, for the Fat Controller and Gordon's sake, the funny side wouldn't last long. Gordon normally took the first train of the day, which travelled across the island. It would then be followed by Henry's local stopping train. It was a slower service, which stopped at all the stations. That morning, Gordon had forgotten he had to shunt the coaches himself, and left the shed late. "Bother, we'll be late now." "Where's Gordon? We usually get here before he leaves." "Are we late?" "He must have just left early. Changed to the timetable, most likely." "Good, we shan't have to deal with his teasing." But it wasn't long before everything went wrong. Henry was simmering at his own platform whilst the express passengers stood in confusion. "Where's the express? It's not at platform 1, one of them called. "There it is," another pointed out, looking across to Henry at the other platform. "There! The platform must have been changed," they called. The passengers all agreed and hurried across to board Henry's local. The guard waved his flag, and Henry hurried off. As he puffed out of sight, Gordon and his crew returned, none the wiser. Later that night at the sheds, the Fat Controller was waiting for them. Both Henry and Gordon looked glum. Well, Henry, fancied being the passenger's express engine? He asked dryly with a big frown. I've had several complaints from passengers about your little mix-up, and I know exactly what happened. It would appear no one could tell the difference between you or Gordon. Yes, sir, they both replied meekly. Well then, we can't be having that. First thing tomorrow, Henry, you're to be repainted and repaired. Your new parts have arrived, so I want no more mix-ups, he boomed. James and Edward thought it was a great joke, but for a long time afterwards, both Henry and Gordon were very tetchy on the subject of liveries.